Welcome back to the Time for Heroes podcast, now in association with the Songbird HQ. Go to the songbirdhq.com for all your musical needs, latest news, reviews and interviews for some of the best signed and unsigned bands. The Songbird HQ also deliver PR services for new talent coming through. Back for another episode of the Time for Heroes podcast. This week I've got Jack McLeod from the Raz. The Raz are a band from West Lothian. And
East Lothian.
East Lothian, sorry, I'm getting mixed up with nuts. East Lothian. They're a band for East Lothian and they've been going for about 3 or 4 years. We're just going to go through Jack's career and what's coming up. So, just get back to the start. Jack, where did you grow up and what was early life like for you?
Well, we're for a wee coastal town called Preston Pans.
Mm-hmm.
It's, I don't know, 20 minutes, well, half an hour with the roadworks into Edinburgh. I had a great upbringing, mate. I loved it. We were football daft. We had the beach, so it was always skimming stains and doing whatever just to pass the time, climbing trees, whatever, man, whatever. I loved it, absolutely loved it. Good group of friends and my mum and dad. Provided us. Amazing. My dad worked at Kilkenzie Power Station. My ma was a manager at Marks and Spencer's, so always fed well. And my dad was always telling me to turn off the lights because he worked at the power station. So I loved it, man. Absolutely loved it. And the boys that are two of the boys that are in the band, just now, we grew up together. We went to literally the same nursery, same infant school, same primary school, high school. So
Preston Pans where the boxers for what do you call
it? Josh Taylor,
Yes. Yeah.
Josh, a good pal of yours, brilliant.
Right. Because obviously my pal, I work for Royal Mail, and my pal is Charlie Flynn. So obviously those two both come through the Commonwealth at the same time.
They'll know each other very well, mate. Exactly. They were in the same Commonwealth Games. I mind it well, man. Right.
Yeah, I get a shout out when Charlie won his medal at the end. He mentioned me in his interview on the BBC. So that was my claim to fame before I became a podcaster. So
we've still to do something with Josh. We've got to get him in one of our videos once, and he ended up tying up that he was away at camp, so it never kind of worked out. And he's always wanted us to play for him, Ken, in the ring walk. So that would be amazing, man, if it was at Easter Road or Castle or something. Yeah, so it's always been spoken about.
Talking about Easter Road, quite a bit.
It's normally, it's normally spoken about over a couple of beers, so he'll probably forget it in the morning.
So, what was were you into music from an early age? Was that the plan, or obviously you mentioned football as well? Was there plans for football? Or?
I mean, music was always there, but I never really took notice of it until my brother, when he hit I'd say when he hit 15, 16, he proper got into music, just like anybody does at that kind of age. They're looking for a wee break away from your standard living, and they're wanting a wee So it was I'd say when he was 15, 16, he did like bands that I went on to like The View, Libertines, stuff like that was my early attachments. They were my go-tos. But I'm trying to think what years it would have been, to be honest. I'm terrible with stuff like that. I can hardly remember what I done last weekend, never mind.
Yeah, that'll be the kids that do that to you.
That's 18 years ago or something, I don't know. But anyway, so round about that time would have been, so that would have been Libertines era. Then there's bands that are floating about, Razorlight, Pigeon Detectives,
Yeah.
And like, so stuff like that. There was that wee indie scene going
there was
on.
tons out then as well, wasn't there?
It was brilliant, mate. Music was absolutely class. Franz Ferdinand, just bands that like they shone through, and it was probably the last bunch of bands that had like the CD sales, the proper. So everything was off massive budgets for bands that are probably a wee bit just above our level.
I
And
was
all,
going to
in all honesty, you
touch
know what I
on
mean?
that later. Actually, that was one of my questions later on. Kind of was about the
Yep.
state of the music industry now, because I listened to a podcast the other day with Liam Frost, and he was talking about CD sales and how everything's Spotify now. So kind of that was the last time a band you could get signed and smash things with your album sales. Now it's all merch,
and even bands that never really, I couldn't tell you off the top of my head where the likes of Pigeon Detectives charted, but they never really hit a peak arenas or what. But when you look back on it, everything looked big budget. They looked like they got big advances and like properly toured and stuff. Whereas bands now at that maybe that kind of level aren't doing the same scale of what they probably done back in the day.
Yeah, and that leads into that nowadays bands, it's like a second job for them. Like you're out working, aren't you, as well, to fund that. Every band I speak to now, they've got a job that they're doing, and this is that's what funds the band. Whereas back then,
exactly. We have to go to our work to fund the band, whereas they probably could have relied on maybe the dole just to see them through and then advances for their record labels or whatever.
Yeah. So how you said obviously two of the band were local to you as well. So how did that come about? How did the band begin, or was there other inclinations before that? Was there other?
So we were all about 15 at school. Don't ask me what year that would have been, third year or something, fourth year or something. And there was 5 years originally, and again the 5 years all went to the same school. We all grew up together. We're all best pals, playing the same football team. Every single one of us played in the same football team at one point, which is unbelievable. Jason, who was the rhythm guitarist, his dad, older Jason, he's in bands like pub bands, wedding bands, whatever, still to this day. And he was the drummer in the band Spike Island, who obviously would be Rosie's influence there to their name. And they played Rosie's tunes, Oasis songs, anything, mate. They played absolute anything. And we kind of right away we looked up to them. We were like, maybe we should try that. So Jordan was phenomenal at guitar when he was like 12. He's like Hendrix when he was 12. Neil picked up drums during music when he picked music for third and fourth year or whatever. Andy just kind of got chucked with the bass, and I was like, right, well, I'll give singing a bash. I can't really mind like the exact moment or whatever. I mean, my head was frazzled back then, so I can't mind like why it happened or whatever. But that's what I can kind of remember for it, that we looked up to older Jason and that and be like, well, let's give it a bash. And I had just been to like my first set of gigs, first gig was Pete Dockery at the Picture Room in Edinburgh. I think it was like 2 weeks after that, went to see Oasis, Kasabian, Reverend and the Makers, and the Enemy play at Murrayfield.
Right.
And then I went to, I think this is all about the same time. I went to Tea in the Park for the first time with my brother. And that's kind of where the music just, it hit home that, this is what's happening. Mate, when I seen Pete Dockery on stage with just him and acoustic guitar, I looked at him and just went, that's what I'm wanting a bit of that. Like, he had the whole room in the palm of his hand.
I'm pretty sure I went to see him at the Barrowlands. It was probably the same tour. And there was 7 years went. And I was the only one that really bothered with him, you know what I mean? I was like a big Libertines fan. It was me that says, right, we're gone. And then I never get in because they fun a wee bag of powder in my wallet. And it turns out it was illegal ecstasy for Tina Park for like 6 months before, and it was all crushed up in my pocket. So I never got in. Because obviously they were like heavy
The
duty.
legal
Security was
man.
heavy duty for things like that for Pete Doherty. So so
Brilliant.
so I mean that's a good start. You know what I mean? Going to the gigs. What was Tina Park like then for going for your first time? That must have been an eye opener as well.
So that was mate, unbelievable. So 2009, I think Blur were headlining. Kings of Leon were headlining our night, and I can't mind the third headliner, but back then I was like hooked to the View. Like they were the one for me. Me and my brother followed them everywhere, and it was Jamie T, the Cortinas, and the View, and the
I
King
was that
Tuts.
one as well.
Aye, and can't mind the band that were on before Kings of Leon, but they were pretty good as well. I can't mind, but I was like, Ken, everybody, my friend group basically just split in the middle. Me and my brother and a couple of boys went to see the View and that, and other boys went to see Kings of Leon. So I can always remember that being like well debated, like months and months before. We had already set out every single day. It was like, it's like Christmas Day. You came out to Tina Park, it was like, man, unbelievable. And I made when literally witnessing all that, I was just like, let's keep going with this band stuff. So that's probably what gave me the boot up the arse to kind of like start writing my own stuff. And I mean, since then it's literally been the same band. So that's 2009.
Right.
So we weren't called the Raz back then. We changed our name in like 2011 or something. And that's when we started like properly gigging and taking it serious. And Jason, absolute brand new guy, but it just lacked a wee bit of creativity and whatever and get up in the band. And we kind of said, listen, I wanted to play guitar. So it's like, there's no point in us having three guitarists. Sorry to break your heart. I ken you were a founding member in that, but we're going to go the next step because we're basically just any gigs that Jason's dad were playing, we were just jumping on. There were some gigs in like Dalkeith, just no far from us, a Black Bull, and it was like over 18, so we couldn't play. So there was like loads of things that were just like, oh, can I play that? They're not wanting us on that, and it was like, Kim, what? Why don't we start writing our own stuff and take this a wee bit more serious than just singing when the sun goes down or Morning Glory? You know what I mean? We want to take this a wee bit more serious. So that was kind of the first steps to becoming the Raz. So 2011, mate. That's how long this band's been going.
It's a long time as well to have kind of the core of the group together. You know what I mean? That's kind of unheard of now. You usually get mega lineup changes by then.
I don't know if it's a good thing or a bad thing. I mean, we've been gone for so long, so you're like, how the fuck something not happened yet? But
well, obviously, I got a wee question at the end that might help that out anyway. So obviously, like looking through your highlights, obviously you're saying then you kind of started taking it seriously 2011. So what were you doing when playing like local pub gigs and stuff like that? What was
that's when we kind of took the step up and went onto the Edinburgh scene. So we were all local, just playing any gig, like a pub in the Pans, playing the pub in the Pans like 3-4 weekends on the Boons, getting a wee fall, and it was all just our mates steaming up to the eyeballs and legals and just that was kind of just all covers and whatever. And then when we started writing our own stuff, I can't really mind again the transition for how many songs like we had in the set that were our own or how many songs weren't they. But I can remember we played a battle of the bands. I'm pretty sure this was Jason's last gigs, and we played like 2 of our own songs and the rest was like covers, so it must have been like 7 tunes or something. And we won that battle of the bands, and I think that gave us a wee bit look at us, that's class. And it ended up where we meant to get like a recording session and whatever, and the boy bumped his, but that's another story. But that was kind of our transition into Edinburgh, and then we started looking up to bands like men bands like Stagger Rats, 1004s, OK Social Club. So there was this scene that We Love Music scene, and I went to a gig in the Liquid Rooms, which was We Love Music, I was underage, a fake ID straight in. Me and my brother standing watching 1004's Modern Faces, the mix-ups,
I
and
might know these bands, aye.
there's another cracker. I can't tip my tongue, mate. But there's another cracker of a band. I think it was Pose Victorious. Aye, Pose
Right,
Victorious.
aye. See,
Right.
I've got all these songs on like an old iPod somewhere.
Mate, so this was like, that was now. So my heroes were a bit more closer to home. Well, I like my father figures were a bit more closer to home. So obviously Pete was the initial, and then it was just the local boys. But when I seen these boys ripping it up, and everybody was just steaming, loving it, man. The mix-ups played played a song called the Venal Shuffle. It just cemented in me and my brother's head. It's just, they were quite like 60s inspired psych kind of poppy songs. But mate, it was just iconic, and all their boys. I think they were from Fife or West Lothian or something. I don't know, but all their boys were just like huddled up, absolutely loving life, mate. Kind of eyes in the back of their head, man. They were just loving it. And that was the point where I was like, "Hi, let's jump into here. Let's see what's happening here." So we started supporting the likes of 1004s, started playing alongside on this Wheel of Music. They were like the promoters. And they were, it was Jay Calder and his brother Lee, who I still speak to. I got to see them at the house games quite a lot. Brand new boys, man, absolutely brilliant. I think Lee was the manager at Pose Victorious, yeah. Right. So there was this whole scene, and we felt like proper a party. It was class. We were like the young team, and all the older boys, like other boys for the OK Social Club, and it was, mate, we just looked up to them. And any gig, we would just say, "I will play it, I will play it, I will play it." And we had quite a good following, like all our pals, just 16-year-old, 17-year-old bammers, and it was class.
Yeah, it's definitely that. I mean, that's funny you mentioning the bands, because I mean there was some amount of bands at that time, and as I say, I know them all. I had them on my iPod, but I didn't really. I was more Glasgow, the Glasgow side of it. So Glasgow into West Lothian, you had Apple Scruffs, High Five Alive, all these bands. I've been talking to Johnny Skinner for the Apple Scruffs today, about getting them on the podcast because he's just started releasing new music on Facebook after about 10 years. So all these bands in, I mean, I spoke to Mark Sharp about it, and he grew up with the same bands you're mentioning. That's who that's probably what spurred his on to
the Imagineers, Figure Five, the Daikini's even. See, they made, so the Daikini's went to a decent level as well, eh? So
yeah,
seeing people like that, and We Were Promised Jetpacks as well, man. They shot off after what was the series that them and Frightened Rabbit got their record on? Because they were through Fat Cat Records. It was the same guy that kind of done the promo or the music for this series. Mate, it's an American series, and mate, for there they just boomed it. So like to this day, We Were Promised Jetpacks are probably bigger in America and Europe than they are in Britain.
Yeah, well, I mean, I've heard of them, but I just assumed they were American because of the name.
Mate, they're unbelievable. I was over in Vegas, LA, and Palm Springs. Just I think it was for my 21st. Was it 21st? Again, look at me with dates, terrible. But when I was over there, We Were Promised Jetpacks were playing in LA, and we were in Palm Springs. Me and my wife Debs, and I was like, I really want to go see We Were Promised Jetpacks in LA. Like that's iconic to do that and go speak to like their merch guys and say, by the way, I'm from Edinburgh and whatever. It's amazing. So I was like, right, okay, we're hiring a car, we're leaving a day early. So we hired this VW Beetle, mate, headed in the motorway straight to LA, got a wee hotel a night early and went and seen them in and it was like a theatre, and gigs are totally different over there. It was just strange, very strange, but amazing. Surreal, man. It was proper surreal watching We Were Promised Jetpack. It's like an away day,
That's brilliant then, man. I mean, they, as I say, the bands that you've mentioned, every one of them was class. So when did you start I've got down here 2020 for like your first release. Obviously, so that's the first thing I got on Spotify.
So that's just due to us wiping the slate clean. So for 2000 and 2011 to 2015, I'd say, we were pretty much winging it. Like, just no got a clue about the music industry. We kind of had boys from Edinburgh who were Lee Calder and We Love Music, their pals. They kind of took us under their wing a wee bit. But for some reason, it never really kicked off. It never, again, I can't really mind that time. I can just mind turning up to gigs, steaming and playing. I can't really mind the background of it, mate. I was just so interested in making folk dance and jump, and mate, I was not interested in trying to organise or try to. What I mean? Somebody would say, "Oh, by the way, you're playing there," and we'd be like, "Right, perfect, we'll turn up and play." But till about 2015, we were just literally, mate, anything went. But then in 2016, we thought, right, we'll change it up a wee bit. We had released like EPs and whatever, just proper physical CDs, EPs, and I think we released 2012 and 2013.
Right.
I reckon if Time Is Now, actually, there's a version of Time Is Now,
version,
2013 EP,
right?
Which is mad. I've no listened to it in well over like 10 years, mate. So that'd be interesting to listen to. But for 2015 into the 16 period, that was when we were like, right, let's start afresh, because I'd been working away from home, so there was again no as much commitment as could be. So we said, right, we'll take this a wee bit more serious. We got a keyboard player, Chris, who was in a band that were Last Minute Glory, who were floating about at the time. They kind of broke up, so we got him in, put the keyboard into the lineup, and then we were like, right, we'll book somewhere away from home. So we picked this place in Bradford, Peak Studios, with Ronnie down there, and we recorded Sweet Talker. That was the first song. So 2016 was the first recording that made it to the album.
Right.
So that is, when you look back on it, that is pretty much when the album started.
Right.
The first album
really started. Quite a long time then, isn't it?
I know, mate. It's mad. I mean, it was released, what,
2022?
2021.
Right.
So May 2021. Obviously, COVID gubbed it for a year, because it was meant to come out in April. No, it was meant to April 2020, and it just never had. Or was it May 2020? Because there was a period through March where we were about to pull the trigger on orders and whatever, and it just never happened. Or it was something to do with the recording or something. I can't remember, but COVID absolutely gubbed it, so it delayed. So essentially, it would have been like a 4-year period where we would have hummed and hawed, and the lineup changed within that 4-year period as well. So there was a lot of directional changes as well. But
that's
the album,
the lineup change, then did the music evolve in any way as well?
There was a lot of like there is now, but with the current lineup, there's a lot of opinions. There's 5 opinions, and they've all got to be heard. Otherwise, it's no fair. So Andy, who was one of the original members on bass, he left in 2018, 19, something like that. So then Lee came in, who's still in the band. He plays bass, but he initially. Oh, so wait there. So Chris left. This is honestly. So Chris left, who played the keyboard. Lee came in, and then Andy left. So Lee went on bass. Right. He's original. He's actually a bassist, and then that's when we brought now Jack McLeod in. So that's the lineup currently. So as you can see, it's every time the lineup changes, the sound kind of evolves. So there wasn't really a direction until, I don't know, probably 2017 was when we recorded The Time Is Now. So that is when I think we started aiming for a sound and like a power and an energy that we all kind of agreed on. But from that, there was still the lineup changes. So there was always wee bumps in the road and whatever, which obviously staggered the progression as well.
Mm-hmm.
But I think the good thing about all this, see the first album, I think it tells this story in music terms, because you've got the likes of Sweet Talker, which are quite poppy, so there was a lot of like DMAs and strokes and stuff that can that interlink the indiness that comes out, but then you've got all the way to She's Not, which is like the latter stages, which we were all probably like the palette changed. We were listening to Black Rebel Motorcycle Club and
Right.
Queens of the Stone Age and stuff. So you can see the dynamic and you can see the variation and change, and it evolved with age as well. And I think it's brilliant that we can listen to the record and it takes me on a pure journey of time, mate.
Well, obviously, like with you saying, there's a lot of things scrapped. Obviously, like the releases we've got on Spotify, there's maybe like 2 or 3 singles and then the album, which is quite different because like, a lot of bands now don't even release albums. There's a lot of bands just do series of EPs and then maybe combine it into an album. So you actually bringing out an album, is that a conscious thing? Because I prefer albums. I prefer the proper route. You know what I mean? So were you conscious of doing that?
I'm an album guy, yeah. Start to finish in an album. I'll rarely go on my phone and I'll pick a song to listen to the song, but I never put on an artist and click shuffle. I never ever do that. It's just I didn't really see the point. I didn't feel like that's how music. That's the digitalness in music. That's where you lose.
Yeah.
So I think a lot of songs are underappreciated because they get listened to out of sync. If you listen to, so a good example of this was me with Kings of Leon. I didn't like the Kings of Leon because he Sex on Fire and used somebody. And I refused to I was just like, it's all noise, man. Just get them away, man. They're cheesy, like whatever. I was hard, like, Colours to the Mast with The View, The Libertines, bands that had a bit of rawness and grit.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, me knowing that the Kings of Leon had that at the start, because I was just so set on these 2 songs that they've sold themselves, and I hadn't even listened to the first albums. So I don't know, I'd say when I was about 21 or something, that's when I started to probably appreciate the Kings of Leon.
Yeah,
like
I mean that's
maybe a wee bit earlier than
I
that.
think most people now are the same about Kings of Leon. It's like there was just a point that they got to where they just kind of everything went corporate, but they were a smashing band. The first couple of albums were amazing,
and I can kind of see, I understand why they went to this, if you want to call it corporate terms. I can kind of understand, because you can only be immature and scruffy and whatever for so long. You become a dad. You've got, like, my hair used to be down to here. Like, there's a perfect example. Right? So there's all these wee things in your life that change, and that changes your taste, changes your look, changes your style. And so when you listen to music, a back catalogue of music of a band, it tells you a story. It lays out the factors of where they've been and what stages they've been at.
So obviously we'll touch on the time is now. Obviously it starts off with kind of spoken word, which it reminds me of like Trainspotting or something like that. And obviously you've been like big Hibs fans and everything Wales, you know that. What was the thinking behind that? Because it's a right good opener.
Initially I was wanting, like, but I think of the speeches. I used to ken this boy's name, William someone, and there's like, it's just the iconic kind of telephonic American speech where it's almost like the guy announcing that they're going to land on the moon. Ken that kind of vibe. So I was like wanting that, and it's just like pretty much the entrance, and again, he's a good vibe and whatever. And James, our producer back then, mad Irishman, like love him to bits, was just a maniac, but he's such a father figure to all us back then. He was like, fuck that. You're fucking speaking it. And I was like, nah, like that's a bit shite, eh? Like, listen to my accent. It's if I have to hear it, I wouldn't like it. There is a bit of Scottish when I sing, but there's not as much Scottish as like say Jerry Cinnamon or whatever.
Yeah.
So I hate hearing my original accent. Like I didn't think I'd come to the terms to like it. So I was like, right, came up, we'll roll with it. I'm probably fishbowl here. You're thinking of bigger pictures. You're what to fucking reanimate. I'll take your word for it, right?
Mm-hmm.
So we recorded it. I was like, right, I'm not gonna lie. I'm only got it like this if we did the rest of the session with it muted, because I can't fucking bear it. You've played it like 2 or 3 times to record like the guitar intro. I hate it. So I park it now, and I might come to terms with it. I never heard it again till it was gone to mastering, and then it was kind of like, oh, fuck, it's too late to change it. We'll just roll with it. And I came round to liking it. Let's see, I came around to liking it. So
how does that go then? Obviously, if you're saying you came around to liking it, because obviously when you play it live, and you need to do that. So do you feel self-conscious when you're speaking it out live?
For the first couple of times, definitely. When we done the album tour, and I never used to do it. I never used to do it. Like even playing it live for 2017 to like the album. I didn't think I did anyway. Right. But then on the album tour, we had to make it something in it. So I was like, right, maybe I'll get you any cool mics that fucking Americans can, like the what's the boys, the boxing announcer boy, Ken what the Brock's doing that, Ken, one of them. And then I was like, nah, fuck that. So I was like, I'll get a megaphone now. I'm trying to do it. And then I was like, fuck it, try that. So that was when it became a thing, and I felt more comfortable doing it through a megaphone than I did just speaking it. So we've done it since. I've ditched the megaphone, and I do like it, but it's not my favourite bit of the set, put it that way. But I do like it. I can see why people like it. But
it definitely draws people in, I would think.
I think that's why I've came to terms that it is a good thing. But it gets the attention and good delivery, and everybody should buzz off it. So I'm happy to continue it.
Oi, oi, you wonderful people out there. You're listening to the Time for Heroes podcast in association with the Songbird HQ. Bosh, get all over it.
Another one I wanted to talk about is She's Not. You mentioned that earlier, and you kind of mentioned like Black Rebel Motorcycle Club and stuff like that. The vibe I got for it was more Happy Mondays. It's got a kinky afro kind of sound to it at the start.
Aye.
So
what gig was it? Or it was an acoustic gig. Actually, it was a State of Mind. You're kidding, a State of Mind boys.
Mm-hmm.
They sorry to mention somebody else when I'm on your podcast,
but no, that's all right. I've mentioned them before.
We done a session in their HQ up at Dalkeith. Brilliant wee place. Aye, boys are absolutely spot on. And we included Kinky Afro in a wee montage of Kinky Afro and She's Not, man. I love it. Right. It's the same kind of pattern, isn't it?
Yeah.
So it fit brilliantly. And I mean, we got interviewed by an American boy, and he was like, the songs are quite similar in their meaning and that. It's like, fair enough. So I don't know if it's like a subconscious thing that happens. It's been a few times where we've been writing tunes and I'm like, fuck, that sounds a lot like whatever. And you didn't really think about it. You're just going with it. You're not going out to copy a song. You're just going with it, and you're going with a melody or whatever. There's on this new record, I'll not say the names of the songs because I might get fucking sued, but there's a few songs that Lee let his dad listen to them, and it instantly came back like a melody in a band for the 90s, I think it is, and it's like, it's dead in the nose that it's the same, and then it fades off a wee bit. But I don't mind that. I do, because it is, as I say, I think it's like subconscious. I think I used to listen to a lot of radio, and so I used to get a big vast array of music. So there's always got to be that. If you don't sound like the people that you like, then you're not doing the right thing.
Yeah, I mean, exactly. And this is, I mean, looking like, doing my research on you, there's a lot of people have labelled you like, for fans of Kasabian and Primal Scream, and another one that comes up is Sound of Guns, which is one of my all-time favourite bands for seeing them supporting The View. They two albums, again, they were class, and then they just went. Like, they're a band that should still be going to know what a band they were.
Agreed. They're like you too. They had that powerful, like, timeless rock. It was kind of like, it was powerful. It was amazing, man. That sometimes is just fucking hell. That a tune. We always, back in the day, we always used to play that house parties and whatever, and it was probably for the same gigs, man. The View, when they supported The View.
Yeah,
I'm sure I think I've seen The View 3 or 4 times on that tour, and I think Caird Hall, it is a Caird Hall in Dundee. We went up to that, and he was on the balcony. The boy, he was like kind of the speaker. He was on the balcony, and he was a fucking riot. That boy, man.
Yeah, I've still watched the videos. There's a video of them, and I think it's in Dundee. They're playing, and the guitarist is playing the guitar. He's on somebody's shoulders, playing the guitar. They were just wild, man. Absolute wild. Looking at the bands you support it, The View, Chris Helm, Fratellis, Trampoline, obviously, Jamie Webster, the Skinner Brothers. Again, as I said to you at the start, I don't know how you supporting all the bands. I've only just seen you in a couple of weeks. I mean, like,
it's strange
that bands to be supporting.
I mean, we've supported the Rifles, supported the Complete Noses, supported, we've been the same bill as some fucking brilliant bands, festivals and that as well, man. The one thing we've no done, and we've always, every single year, every other month, we'll try, is just get on tour with a band, like a good level. And I honestly, I think something like that could just make or break the band, because supporting on a tour, or supporting a band that are on a tour that is pretty much sold out, is just it's easy. It's like really, really easy. The only one that I found quite difficult was Jamie Webster. I found that quite difficult.
Right.
Reason being was, obviously their fans are just there to see Jamie Webster and fucking annihilate the Tories. I'm the one to like the Tories. I fucking despise the Tories as well. But see, when you're trying to think about
that chance
lyrics
just getting
performance, and it's just fucking constantly fuck it Tories. I was kind of at my wit's end with the chant, but fair play, it's what they paid their money for, so you can't really fucking grumble at it. They're there to see Jamie, so fair enough.
I wonder how that worked. Obviously, I've no spoke to Mark Sharp for a while, but obviously he just went on tour with Lewis Capaldi, took them on tour all over Europe, so it must be the same sort of thing for them, because obviously Capaldi's fan base is probably nothing like Mark Sharp.
So that's very true.
Having to win over a different audience.
I think, as well, what I've found through my experiences, if you're supporting a band that are very similar, or they definitely cross over your two genres or sounds or whatever, it's easy, and you get a lot of good feedback. But obviously, if you're good, you get a lot of good feedback. You get a lot of new fans, and mate, it's instant. You see people at your next gig in that city that's seen you. So we supported Skylights or whatever, down in Leeds, and then if we were playing down there or playing in that area, instantly you see people like, we saw you support Skylights. It's so it's the like amazing to get fans and get a following. The problem is a lot is through booking agencies or in-house. So if people are on the same management or record company, then it's all sorted that way. So it's hard to get to that.
Right.
That next.
Because obviously, I mean, seeing you at Trampoline, I felt as if you had to put a bit of work in at the start. It seemed kind of the banter wasn't there at the start. Like you were doing a lot of talking and you weren't getting much back for the audience the first couple of songs, but you stuck at it, and by the end you had everything in the palm of your hands.
It does take a wee bit of work. That's why sometimes, like say what you mentioned, the time is now. So coming out to the time is now is quite an eye opener and kind of gets people like, fucking hell, these boys mean business. So with stuff like that, honestly it depends on the sequence of your songs and how you perform them. If you're leaving your best till last, and it's not going to work really. You need to make sure that you're at your fucking best constantly, because people will drop away and they'll be like, right, we'll just go for a smoke, they're not up too much, and then they'll miss your last fucking couple of songs. So you need to hit right for the start. We at that gig, we opened with what's probably got to be our opener for our next album. It was quite risky, but because we believe that the song is that strong, it makes us perform. If we believe in the songs, they're so easy to perform. The energy naturally comes out. You're no forcing in it. It's just all natural. So it definitely, you need to, as you say, stick at it.
Yeah, because I mean, those I hadn't seen you before. I felt really bad. I was down the front at the side, and I felt really bad because I'd never heard you before, so I couldn't sing along and go mental because I didn't know it was going mental at first. But
even the appreciation of a wee shoulder, like, just to get a bit of feedback. It's not about singing, it's not about whatever. If people applaud your song and a wee bit movement or whatever, tapping their foot, we notice this on stage like 100%, and you can judge the room quite quickly. Yeah.
Obviously, you another thing you touched on was like kind of booking agents and getting with the right management and stuff like that. You done this feeling tour, so how does that come about with this feeling? Because obviously they champion tons of bands, like they're the best gigs to get on, it seems to be at the minute.
So back in the day where we played this feeling gigs, they were kind of like the promoter that came in for the South and just put on the big, like, not the big shows, but they got all the best bands and like the click of their fingers. So there was always this pull with this feeling where we played gigs at, like, say, I think they played a lot of gigs at Voodoo Rooms, and was it GRV they done as well? But anyway, there was like 2 venues in Edinburgh, and then you would, if you'd done well with this feeling with ticket sales and whatever, then you could slide in other places. So we would then go through to Glasgow. We'd go through to, I don't know, we maybe go up to, they used to do Dundee and stuff. And then I'm pretty sure we've played London a couple of times, and then they got kind of the wind, you're playing London, whatever. And they put us on big in 2020.
Right.
That was in Glasgow, and it was with the Lutras. Can't remember the other couple of bands, but they're the band that I remember that were really, really good that night. So it was us, Lutras, and I think it was 2 other bands. Broadcast, but it was the old setup, so it was fucking stowed full. Stage right away to the bottom. It was absolutely brilliant. So that was like our initial, right, we'd done really well that night. Our album came out, and mate, we were, Mikey Jones, the main boy for this film, was straight on the phone to us. We sent the album to him and we were like, have a blast at this. And mate, he was straight on the phone. I was working in Coatbridge, in a school in Coatbridge. mate, he was on the phone for fucking about an hour and a half, and I'm trying to graft, and he's like, "Fucking hell, mate, that's the best fucking record I've ever." Again, like, you know, all these and his Cockney fucking accent. He's an absolute hero, mate. So for there, it just kind of clicked. And our now manager, Sam Shiner, she is quite in with this feeling as well. She does DJing and booking and whatever for them.
Right.
So for there, we done what was meant to be the album 2, which was organised for April 2020. But fucking pushed all the way to, was it April? No, was it June? I think it was June 21. I think I'm right here. Maybe. End of May, June 21, which was Glasgow, Liverpool, Manchester, London, and then back to Edinburgh.
Yeah. So I mean that's.
Oh, actually, wait there. It was the next day again. It was 2022. Was it? Fucking hell.
I think it was 2022 that I was checking through all your stuff, all your Facebook, looking at all the posts. I'm pretty sure it was 2022.
Sure. Fuck. Totally baffled. But anyway, we done a sold out of like a 5-date. It's all dates. Everything's fucking dates, and I'm shite at remembering them. We done a 5-date tour, and every single gig, there was 3 sold out prior, and the other 2, which were Newcastle, was definitely Newcastle, and someone else. Was it London or Manchester? They sold it on the night. Right. So we done a full fucking 5-date tour, sold it, which was like fucking. Actually, we done a 3-date tour prior to this. Was it prior to the album or just before the album or something like that? And then we done that, and it just, so we sold out the 3, and then we sold out the 5. So every single gig we done with this feeling for like a fucking a year stunt, sold out. And this was like during COVID as well, so one got bounced, the other kind of was set in place, and then we were set up to do Why Not Festival in Isle of Wight with this feeling. They both got fucking cancelled and bounced, and we got them both the next 2020. Fuck, 2.
Yeah. That's it.
But last year.
COVID was a total bastard, wasn't it, for this?
Oh, mate, like, but Isle of Wight was last year, surely, was it? Let's just double check, man. I think it was. See, 22 was it was manic because everything was crammed in, eh? Everything was literally crammed in that everybody had missed. It was all fucking one. 2022, man. So last year we played Why Not Festival, Isle of Wight with this feeling, which is fucking outstanding, man.
So see at the Isle of Wight Festival, if they get their own stage, so
they had their own stage at both with Scots Menswear.
Right, because obviously
they kitted us out with new clobber and that, man. It was fucking brilliant.
Right. So do you get free clobber off them,
Aye. So we got free clobber. I think we've had it 4 times now, man. It's been pretty good.
Right. Well, that's that. Well, they're another reason to stick in with them, innit? Obviously, the mob that I work for, Songbird, the podcast is out under Songbird. They've got a stage at Isle of Wight as well.
It's fucking honestly, mate. What a vibe, man! The island's just jumping. It's fucking carnage, mate. Like mental. We were trying, so we got announced quite late, and we were trying to organise ferries and that. So I went down with my wife and she was 2. I took the bairn down.
Right.
Stayed in Cotswolds on the way down, then went over, and then Bath on the way back, just to kind of split up the fucking journey. But mate, see, try to organise ferries because we got announced so late. There was just nothing left. So the boys. So we played on a Sunday night. I mean, the boys left. I managed to get a lucky ferry at like 12 o'clock on the Monday. The boys left at 7 a.m. on the Monday. They went up the road in the band van at 7 a.m. Mate. They were fucking playing on stage at 9 o'clock.
Jeez, oh.
Honestly, I was like, you should not be driving, mate. But
it's some life, though, isn't it?
Oh, mate, it's so like up and down, up and down, up and down. You're just, it's a roller coaster ride, mate. But we literally love it, mate. We absolutely love it. So until we stop enjoying it, we promised ourselves we just got to keep going, man. We just got to keep going. And I can assure you, we're not in it for money because, fuck me, everything's so expensive. We make absolutely fuck all, man.
But as you say, it's a connection with the fans, and eventually you will make something of it someday. You would think that's the plan anyway, isn't it?
The memories are good enough, mate. What else would I be doing?
Well, touching on that as well, just before we go into your heroes and stuff like that, you've featured in a couple of TV stuff. So, yeah, one of your songs was used for the trailer for Kick Out the Jams.
Yes, we got invited into that. Scott sorted us out for that as well.
Right. Obviously, you've appeared on The Terrace, which, as I was saying about this new podcast I'm going to do, like replacing Soccer AM, I forgot about The Terrace because that's kind of like the Scottish Soccer AM, isn't it? Because they always put a band on every week.
Aye, so they used to do it like live. They used to have somebody fucking whatever go out and film whoever playing the tune, or they used to bring them to the studios at Quayside or whatever, and I play. And a lot of bands, there's been a lot of good versions of tunes. The Plastic Thistle one's an absolute raker. But there's a few good versions of tunes, so I'd love to do that. But our tune got just at the end credits. Mate, it's wild because now you mentioned what we've featured on. So obviously you get a royalties report,
right?
Tunes for PRS, and we've got like a publishing company who basically just it's in their interest to push your tunes out to any opportunity that could suit. And mate, BT Sport, we're using our tune on Motorsport, MotoGP, and it's been on the darts, it's been on football, it's been on golf, it's been on all Sky Sports, and like ITV have used it on X Factor, and you're like, what the fuck? When's all this happening? Like, here's a wee nod, but literally, as soon as your song's in the pot, they can use it as long as they pay you for it. So, mate, it's good. It's interesting to see. Like,
Sky Sports used one of your songs after the Edinburgh Derby, so that must have been a highlight as well, eh? How does that get in with the band? I don't
mind what the result was like.
I don't know what the result was because you had a bad time against Hearts for a while, didn't you? Up until the other week.
Yep.
What's that like with the rest of the band? What are they all? Are these all?
Well, there's three of us Hibbies. One of them's a Rangers fan. One of them doesn't really care, but he'll just stir the pot. Whoever Hibs are playing, he'll just go the opposite.
Right.
But opportunities like that, like I played on the pitch at Easter Road last Derby, so that's what the start of the year there.
Right.
I played on the pitch, just played a Hibs tune, and I got wined and dined and paid for it. So I'm like, why would I not do that? That's like an incredible opportunity to go on before a Hibs Hearts game. I was standing in the tunnel with Ken Buchanan, God rest his soul, mate. He was presenting the match ball, and I'm going to sing a song, mate. Just unbelievable. And see, to be honest, music and football go hand in hand, but they've got such a collision as well, where so a lot of people are bitter, and they'll know listen to the likes of Proclaimers. No Hearts fans listen to Proclaimers, really, but I think everybody needs to kind of accept that fucking hell, musicians have got personal like affiliations and that as well, So like
well,
Sam
Fender,
and whatever, it's fucking
I mean, the funny thing with obviously doing my research on this for my other podcast, there doesn't seem to be, like, you get a lot of Celtic fans, Celtic like musicians, and obviously I know 4 or 5 at least Hibs. I know yourself, Retro Video Club, Jamie Pollock, who I've had on, he's a Hibs fan, obviously.
Aye.
Don't hear much Hearts or Rangers. The only Rangers one I can think is Callum Beattie and Biffy Clyro, and then you're going back to Wet Wet Wet. But I don't even know any Hearts ones.
So Frightened Rabbit, Scott for Frightened Rabbit, again, God rest him. He's his dad was a big Hearts fan, so he was always he never really had a bigger like attachment to Hearts, but he would always say he supported Hearts, and he had done a version of the Hearts song, which minus the lyrics, it's a fucking brilliant rendition, mate.
So I'll not say too much more about it, because we'll keep this for this other podcast.
Good. Good.
So just before we go into your heroes, what have you got coming up the rest of the year?
We've got a big one in Dunfermline next month, 13th. Again, dates. I'm
13th of May. PJ Malloy's.
13th of May. It's PJ Malloy's. I fucking love that venue. It's so good, man. Just got a good vibe, and it's a good. There's always a good gathering, mate. So see, even if your ticket sales are quite low, you're guaranteed to pretty much get double, because it's just a wee hub.
Mm-hmm.
And especially if Dunfermline are playing, we played them, and it was Dunfermline Falkirk, and mate, the place was rammed. And so hopefully a lot of the people are coming back to see us because it was a great night. So that's coming up. The Godney Gathering, I think, after that, which is just outside Glastonbury. A wee festival. Zootons are playing, Sherlock's are playing. So that should be class, mate. And then we're going back into the studio. We've got the last session to finish this album, and then hopefully there'll be a couple of singles out by the end of the year.
Right.
And we'll hit, probably, realistically, just with, mate, it's more funds than anything else. We're going to be into next year with this album. But hopefully there'll be a couple of single campaigns and whatever before the turn of the year, and then maybe early next year for the second album, which is probably the main priority. We've got a couple of dates to the Sherlocks, who I've played with them a couple of times over the years. Actually, they're brilliant lads. So
that's in about October time, isn't it?
October, mid-October. Is it mid-October? October. October. We support them in Glasgow and Newcastle. So I fucking really looking forward to that. Not seen the lads in quite a while. We actually played with them in Glasgow when they first came up. Pivo, 2013, and there was an age curfew. They were maybe headlining, and then the boys found out that they weren't 18. So we got the headline slot. So they supported us once. That was actually the night that I met my wife. Good.
Oh, that's brilliant, man. So
class. Really.
Obviously, the podcast called Time for Heroes. At the end of the podcast, I like to ask my guests to pick 4 heroes to come for dinner. Dead or alive, whatever world they come from. They can be musicians, sports people, whatever, family. So 4 heroes to come for dinner, and would you cook them?
How do we think about this, Sean? I didn't think too much. I like to kind of be off the cuff. I guess one of them, do you say dead or alive? So I would definitely say John Lennon. He'd be first at the table. He can have a fucking top seat, to be honest. As soon as I got on the Beatles, that was fucking, that was a proper attachment. Obsessed for ages. Didn't I listen to them as often as I did, but still pretty fucking weekly.
Yeah.
But he's definitely top of the table. He can be the chief. He can be the one that says grace.
Right.
A good start. Second, I guess I'll go like 3 musicians that are probably all the iconic ones. for me anyway. So I'll go Pete Doherty. Pete Doherty, just for it.
I think it might be the first time he's been picked as a
Right.
hero. Other
I
there's one guy picked off for Libertines actually, but other
what a
than
man.
that, he's never been picked.
Reasons because he was probably the one that initially made me. I mean, it could have been fucking the Next Again gig, but he was the first one that I laid eyes upon on the stage, being like, fucking hell, he's wrecked, but he's doing a fucking great job.
Yeah.
And I'm wanting a bit of that. So, and what a fucking bunch of stories he'll have. And he can scram like fuck, as you've seen in recent terms. So
yeah, he's. I see the last couple of times I've seen him. I must have forgot how big he was, like how like tall. He's massive.
Aye.
And
Yes.
it's pretty beef on as well.
Aye, so maybe a couple of plate fees for him, but aye, we'll go Pete Doherty number 2. Third one, I'll pick another musician. I think I'll go Bowie, just because he's fucking interesting, and my cat's called Bowie, so
Right.
why not? It'll not be the cat that's sitting at the table. It'll be David Bowie. So aye, Bowie number 3. Number 4. I'm going to go for stories. Somebody with like loads of stories rather than like your cliche, iconic people. Like you could go fucking Martin Luther King or something. But I'll maybe go. I'll go a wee football link here as well. I'm going to go Georgie Best.
Brilliant.
Just so we can all get swally together and have a crack. And obviously was at Hibs, so talk about his Hibs days. Aye, fuck it, why not?
They're brilliant. George Best and John Lennon together.
There you go. Imagine, like, think about that piss up.
Yeah. And Pete there as well, because Pete likes his talk about football as well.
Exactly.
He's into that era of football. And this one, obviously, the next question that I'm going to ask, I've never asked anybody before.
Well, wait there. What was I going to cook for them as well? So,
what are you going to cook for them? This is basically see how good a cook you are.
Well, I've got a pizza oven at the back, so I could cook them pizza, but my speciality and for a dinner table is fajitas. So let's go fajitas. Everybody hands on, fucking scran away. Tortilla chips a lot, man. It's all the hot sauces under the sun. And we'll have a great time. Nice Mexican beers as well to set the night off, and then tequila to finish with, and we'll be blazing.
That sounds wild, man. So I'm going to trial this question, and it could go one of two ways. You could end up, the band could be split up by the time this podcast comes out. If you had to replace one of your band members, who would it be, and who would you replace them with?
I'm not sure what I thought of this question initially. Again, I didn't think too much of it, because if I was going on music terms, then the band would probably be defunct within a couple of fucking days. So I'm just going to go for nothing too close to the bone. I'm going to say Jordan, right, who is the main riff maker. He's like the fucking spine of the songwriting musically. It'd be really, really hard to function as a band without him. I didn't think we would function. So that's why I would, because the question's so fucking bizarre, I was going to go with a fucking bizarre answer. So I'll go with him, right? And then it'll be like, right, we'll see where this can go. And I'll replace him with Squire.
Right.
And, well, I mean, what would turn into? We would turn into the Seahorses, fucking make 2. That's literally what we'd turn into. But I'm into the Seahorses, so I can deal with that.
Yeah. So, how do you think Jordan will be once he hears this? Will he be happy to be replaced with somebody like that?
Jordan will probably listen to it and he'll laugh. I'll not take it to heart, because he'll kind of doing it as he's probably the one who would be less likely to replace. So I went quite safe. I'm sitting on the fence here, as you can tell. Like,
I'll get him on in a couple of months. I'll get Jordan on, and we'll see what he's
no, all good, all good.
So that's us, man. That's us.
Class, mate. It's been
You
brilliant.
gave me plenty of time there. Just before you go, obviously, for the listeners, if you want to let them know where they can get a hold of you, just your Facebooks and stuff.
We're on all the usual streaming platforms. The Raz, RAH_S. Didn't ask me why the apostrophe's there. It just fucking is. That's how you spell our name. The Raz Music on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube. And album number 2 is coming in. So please, jump on board, because this shit's got the fucking top.
Brilliant. Pleasure having you on, Jack.
Top man, Martin, it's appreciated, pal. Thank you.
Cool.
You're listening to the Time for Heroes podcast in association with the Songbird. Check it out. Martin, you're an absolute legend. What are you? An absolute legend.
I hope you all enjoyed this episode of Time for Heroes podcast. If you would like to get in touch, the best way is on the Facebook page, Time for Heroes podcast, or on Instagram at Time for Heroes podcast, or Twitter at Time for Heroes P1, or drop me an email at timeforheroespod@gmail.com. You'll find Time for Heroes on all podcast platforms, including Spotify, Apple, Google and Amazon. Please leave a review where you can, share with others, and more importantly, enjoy.
Cheers.